In one of the most shocking crimes of the 1990s, world-renowned fashion designer Gianni Versace was gunned down on the steps of his mansion
Gianni Versace was
in
murdered
broad daylight
this
in
morning.
the middle of Miami Beach. The murder stunned the fashion world, devastated a global fan base, and triggered a manhunt that led to one of America's most chilling serial killers. Today, we're at the very place where it happened, the steps of Casa Casuarina, to explore the life, the crime, and the legacy of Gianni Versace. Gianni Versace wasn't just a fashion designer. He was a cultural force, known for his bold prints, opulent designs, and fearless fusion of art and glamour. Versace dressed the icons of the 90s, Princess Diana, Madonna, Tupac, Elton John. In 1992, Versace purchased Casa Casuarina, a 1930s Mediterranean revival mansion in Miami Beach. He poured millions into renovations, adding a gold-lined pool, custom mosaics, and handcrafted marble. It wasn't just a home. It was a sanctuary and a statement, a place where art met luxury. But this paradise would soon become a crime scene.
Hello, welcome back. These are pictures from Miami, where the fashion designer Gianni Versace has been shot dead outside his villa on the Ocean Drive.
On the morning of July 15, 1997, Versace walked just a few blocks from his mansion to the News Cafe, a popular Ocean Drive spot. He bought a few magazines, exchanged hellos with locals, and returned home. As he reached the gate of his mansion, a man stepped out from the crowd. Without a word, he raised a .40 caliber pistol and fired twice, once into the back of Versace's head, and again as he fell. The shooter calmly walked away through the crowd, leaving the most famous fashion designer in the world bleeding on his own front steps. The city froze. Paramedics rushed Versace to the hospital, but it was too late. The killer was quickly identified as Andrew Cunanan, a 27-year-old with a genius IQ, a magnetic charm, and a deeply unstable mind. Cunanan had already been on the FBI's most wanted list, linked to a cross-country murder spree that began months earlier. In April 1997, he murdered Jeffrey Trail, a former Navy officer in Minnesota. Days later, he killed an ex-boyfriend, David Madsen. Then came real estate developer Lee Miglin in Chicago, bound and tortured in his garage. He killed again in New Jersey, shooting a cemetery caretaker just to steal his truck. That truck would later be found, parked just blocks from Versace's mansion. Cunanan had been hiding in Miami for over 2 months, staying in cheap motels, paying in cash, evading capture, all while living near one of the most famous people on the planet. Why did Andrew Cunanan target Gianni Versace? To this day, the motive remains murky. Some say Cunanan and Versace had met years earlier. Others argue that was fantasy. What's clear is that Cunanan was obsessed with wealth, power, and fame, all things Versace represented. Many believe the murder was the climax of Cunanan's spiral, a final desperate attempt to insert himself into history, a twisted act of legacy theft. He didn't leave a note. He didn't confess. Just a body count. And a story that ended as suddenly as it began. After the murder, the FBI and Miami police launched a massive manhunt. Flyers were everywhere. Interviews, tips, patrols, all came up short. But 8 days later, on July 23rd, authorities were alerted to a suspicious houseboat in Miami's Indian Creek area. Inside, they found Cunanan. He had shot himself in the head with the same gun used to kill Versace. He died without ever facing justice. No trial, no answers. Casa Casuarina still stands at 1116 Ocean Drive, now the Villa Casa Casuarina Hotel. The Versace brand has moved on, thriving under his sister Donatella, but the building remains frozen in time. The iconic steps, the site of Versace's final moments, are cordoned off, but visitors still gather outside to photograph them. What once symbolized luxury now whispers the memory of tragedy. Inside, the mansion remains breathtaking. The Medusa logo still embedded in the pool, the tiles still glimmering in the sun, but the air holds something else. Silence. History. The kind you can feel, not see. Gianni Versace built a world of glamour and beauty, but his death was brutal, public, and senseless. The man who gave the world color and creativity was taken in an act of violence on his own doorstep. Today, the location tells both stories, one of brilliance and one of loss. Thanks for watching. If you want more true crime stories told at the exact locations they happened, subscribe to the channel and let us know where to go next.